everybody. Welcome to Let's Connect Now, another episode for the year 2023. I'm so excited because we are bringing a whole new combination of guests to the show that I'm so excited. So today you're going to notice that I actually have an IV drip going on here because my guest today is a professional RN nurse running her own IV mobile, am I saying it correct? Yes. Business in the San Gabriel Valley. So today, I have Alexus McKeon with us. So welcome to Let's Connect Now, Alexus.
Thank you, Monica, for having me.
So I know people are going to be curious. What exactly is it that I'm doing, and why am I doing this?
Yes, so my business name is called LyvBliss. I am a mobile IV vitamin therapy business. I'm a registered nurse. What I'm giving Monica today is my Live Recovered blend, and that is for muscle recovery and muscle repair. So Monica's been working out a lot, right?
Trying to.
She's been feeling sore, and so this is going to help with muscle soreness, muscle repair. It's going to help prevent injury because we are boosting the body to produce collagen as well. And it helps with even muscle cramping, hydration, all the things that we need in order to get a good recovery in.
Oh my gosh! So this is pretty awesome. Thank you so much. So we're gonna get into exactly what it is that you do, and thank you for introducing yourself. I do have a bit of problems when it comes to like saying certain names of businesses, and I apologize for that. But I know you. I mean, I know you as Alexus, and ever since I met you, I just like I always say, because. I tell all my clients when I really truly feel something, like a connection with certain people, and with you, I definitely feel that, that we have that. And when I found out what your business was, I was very fascinated because there's just so much that goes into what you do. Right?
Right.
And you're definitely a networker because you try to attend as many events as you can. And that's kind of how I met you. Am I right? Yeah, yes. It was at an event at Med Spa, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's actually where I work.
Yeah, but let me go back a little bit. So at that event, you mentioned something about shirts or some kind of art.
Yes.
So what was that about?
So I do have a creative business as well. It's not my main focus right now as I'm doing IV therapy. But my other business name is called Viva La Plur. Plur stands for peace, love, unity, respect. And with my business, my hopes is to teach others about these values. It is a creative business, so I do apparel, one-of-a-kind apparel, tie-dye, hand painting, and for the Med Spa, we actually did some custom shirts with our name, our title, and the Med Spa manager, Sarah, she actually ordered for me and supported my business in that way.
Wow, how neat is that? I haven't seen anything on that, but I remember very clearly you speaking about that because I remember that day the people from the mall actually attended that little get together, and you mentioned it, and I thought, oh my God, that's so interesting. So actually, that's what I thought you did. Oh. And, it wasn't until later that I found out that this is your main job. And but we're very curious. I think we're next time you come, you have to show us what a little bit about that because it's very interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I started Viva La Plur back in 2021. Well, actually, no. Yeah, 2020. So it's been 3 years. That's after I had some nursing experience in the ER, and when COVID hit, it didn't work out too well for me. So I started a creative business, as a lot of people did during COVID times.
Yeah.
But fast forward, I started working at the Med Spa, and then fast forward even more, I started getting into holistic IV therapy. And my business is actually very new. I just launched it end of October of last year. So I've just been going full force, and since then I kind of switched over into focusing all my energy into the IV business.
Wow, that's really cool. So is this all natural vitamins or what's in this?
So it is a holistic therapy, or some people call it alternative therapy. It does complement Western medicine. This is a great treatment option if you want to look for something natural, right? It's vitamins and minerals, different types of supplements that are all natural. They are compounded in a pharmacy, but these are substances that our body needs, right? All the micronutrients that our body needs. A lot of people focus on macronutrients when it comes to nutrition, you know, your carbs, your proteins, your fats, but a lot of times we forget about the micronutrition of it, and that's actually what our body uses on a cellular level, are the micronutrients that help with all the body processes.
Wow. Yeah, I know. Every time I try to go into this, you know, this really clean eating and stuff and the macros, I have a really hard time understanding all that stuff because it's hard. It's hard to really measure, like, what is it exactly that you need to, you know, you need to eat and stuff. And so, I don't know.
I struggle with the same thing.
Yeah, it's really hard. But I think here at you know, aside of the show, Let's Connect Now, I mean, at the GWC, we have a high on everything that you're doing. I mean, JR is our perfect example. He gets so excited whenever he gets these you know, injections, you know, to like wellness. You know, he feels really energized because I think the majority of the people that work deal with some form of stress. You know, malnutrition in some way, because we're not always eating at the time that we're supposed to be eating. We're not drinking enough water, especially when we have meetings. We're not hydrating because we don't want to be excusing ourselves to go to the restroom.
Right.
So we lack, you know, we lack a lot of the nutrition that our body needs, and then our body starts breaking down. And I just feel like I get brain fog. Like, I seriously feel like, oh my God, why didn't I remember that? Or why didn't I remember that? So as we get older, for me, I get a little scared because I'm thinking, oh my God, how does it start when you start, you know, maybe showing symptoms of certain things? Or, but I don't think it's that, honestly, because I do focus a lot when I read. I go into a zone. And so if I can focus on my books and stuff, then I'm thinking, no, I'm safe, I think.
Right. Well, in our day and age, you know, we live in such a fast-paced society. It is hard to eat really clean and whole foods, and a lot of times we go to fast food, right?
Comfort food,
something that's really easy, convenient, and a lot of fast food doesn't have those proper micronutrients that we need. So it makes sense, you know, to feel stressed, to have fatigue when we're eating the way we're eating. In regards to your concern about, you know, your memory, or maybe you don't remember things as well, that could be a sign of actually toxin buildup. A lot of people associate that with just the natural process of aging. And what I believe is that we should have our mental capacity throughout our entire lifespan. We shouldn't decline in that. We shouldn't feel like we're not remembering as well. And a lot of times it has to do with toxin buildups, and not only the food that we eat, but just our environment. It's unfortunate, but our environment does have a lot of things like pesticides, herbicides, things that are in the air that we can't avoid, but they build up over time and they affect our body at a cellular level.
So is there a cure for that?
So there are actually treatment options for that are natural. I recommend chelation IV therapy. I do not offer that. That is something that you have to get done at a doctor's office, but chelation actually helps remove toxins from your body and heavy metals. Heavy metals is what settles into our cells over time, so it's like a really slow buildup, and then we feel the effects at the very end of it, right? So doing something like chelation can actually detox your body from all these heavy metals so that your cells are functioning better. Doing something like IV vitamin therapy too, to help with other cellular health, can help with the aging process as well, and it can help you feel young and vibrant throughout your entire lifespan.
Yeah, so oh my God, I know it's an investment for a lot of people, but I always say, you know, if it's gonna help you and it's going to make you feel better. I mean, anything that's, you know, natural, that it's, you know, that is proven to, you know, to be effective, I think it's worth, you know, every penny. I would rather give up 2 pairs of shoes and know that if I do an IV drip, you know, something that's natural like what you offer, I feel like it's totally worth it.
I completely agree. I tell everyone, this is an investment in our health.
Mm-hmm.
We need our health to enjoy life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Health is wealth. So I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah, and to function, everyday life things, because stress is part of, it's, I don't want to say it's normal, but it kind of is with everything. There's stress on every situation, right? But it's how we handle it and how our body, handles the stress. Like, we don't have to take situations home, that happen during your work day, but sometimes we do. And I have people that actually internalize those things, and they make their stress worse, because then the next day they come to work and it's the same. They're just bringing it back, bringing it back, bringing it back. So I guess that's a whole new different kind of therapy, but at the same time it starts affecting your health, your physical health, headaches, just a whole bunch of different things, that your digestion gets affected. I went through a period of that, but I healed myself when I removed myself from that.
Right.
It's almost like they call it toxic environment.
Yes.
I removed myself because I knew that it was only going to make me feel worse. So I actually felt a lot better, but I still think that you're right. I want to start dealing with those little things when I know the person's name, but it goes in, it just doesn't, I don't know, I forget.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because stress is actually one of the main factors for disease. Stress is what causes inflammation, and inflammation is what causes disease. A lot of times we attribute, heart disease and diabetes to our diet. And yes, diet and exercise is so important, but our stress levels are very, very important to take care of in order to prevent those things. So I'm glad you got out of that toxic environment, because it affects your health on so many levels. When we stress, our hormones are out of whack, and then it causes, it could cause hardening of the arteries, inflammation in all the body. It affects your gut health even, which is why something like IV therapy is so effective for people who are in high stressful situations, because when our gut isn't optimized, when we're stressed, our gut isn't absorbing as much as it could, and something like this that goes straight into the bloodstream is going to be very, very beneficial.
Wow. Yeah. No, thank you. I'm glad I'm not, I know I'm stating, things because I read into it, and I know that it happens, but I reach out for help. I normally will go to my regular doctor, or I'll go to, my OBGYN, and, I'll talk about it, and I'll push for things that I know that my body needs. A lot of times you go to the doctor and they just tell you, oh, you want a pill?
Yeah.
Oh, you want this? Oh, you want that? No. Is there any other solutions?
Yeah.
To the point where, yoga is something that I love to do. I mean, I just love it so much, because it just takes me to a place where I feel like I'm just like at ease, and I control my breathing. And, you could say that you do yoga, but not controlling your breathing. That's not really yoga. Yoga is supposed to really relax you.
Yeah,
right?
Yoga is very much of a mind, like a mind therapy. Taking care of yourself in that way is so important. That's something I tell my clients too. Like, IV therapy is great, but you have to take care of your mind, right? I personally love journaling to help decompress myself, because I'm like 1,000 thoughts a minute, Sometimes I have trouble sleeping because I'm overthinking about everything that I didn't get done. And writing it down, or doing something like yoga where you can clear your mind and have some time for just peace is so vital. So I recommend everyone to do something that's going to help, just find some peace, because it's important.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I love reading, and I don't know. I know I lend you a book, and as you can see, I start taking from little things from different books. So sometimes I'm all over the place, because sometimes I feel like reading this one or this one or this one, and I just keep going back and forth, and I don't know, I test myself, because I'm thinking, okay, do I remember where I left off? Do I really remember what I was reading? And I do. But I choose things that I like to do. Things that I like to do, not things that make me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Where before I was doing things that made me feel uncomfortable. And now I try just, or I'll just cry for an hour. They say it's good therapy.
I love crying.
Because it detoxes you, right? Because they said that when you cry, you detox your lungs.
Oh, I actually have never heard of that.
Yeah,
Really?
I read that. Yeah, that
Oh.
you detox your lungs from from like everything that that you're just it's just accumulating. You're not breathing. You're just like absorbing. So when you cry, you
Really?
just let it all go.
Is that like those really small cries, or does it have to be like the big cries to like get that blood flowing
It
to
has
the
to be those
afternoon?
big cries that everybody fears, of course.
Oh,
And there's no
yeah.
easy way to get it. It takes something big to go into that. 'Cause
Right.
sometimes we feel like crying and we just kind of swallow it and we're just like, and
Yeah.
so you just keep it in here. And it's like, I don't know.
It has to
I
be
don't know.
the
Ask my husband. He thinks I'm crazy, but like, he leaves me alone. Like, he doesn't even know when I'm doing it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cry in private.
Yeah.
Probably like once a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just, especially with emotional overwhelmed, that time of the month sometimes, just
Yeah.
all the
But
things.
it's so normal, right? Right?
Let's normalize crying, guys.
Yes, it's very normal. It is very normal to cry. It's
Yes.
therapy. I heard that it's also therapy, which is good, but a lot of men feel like crying is like only for women or whatever. No, it's not. Try crying. You'll feel way better, after that. So
Yeah.
it's just we just have to bring our emotions forward and just let ourselves, be and just let them go. I think it's good. I'm not an expert at any of this stuff, so don't quote me. They might not be good for you, so don't go home and cry. Just make or play a sad song, see if it makes you cry or something. I don't know. But I'd rather be happy and smiling, of course, and just feel like I'm having a great day or just a good time with friends. With you, I smile a lot because your smile is so radiant, and every time I see you, you have a big smile, and it's so like what is it like it's like, what do you say when I don't know,
Contagious.
Yes, contagious. It sends like like waves, which is really good because even they say like if you smile at somebody that you just see that you don't even know, it makes their day because sometimes people need that.
Yeah, I heard even with smiling, if you are feeling down and you just like force to smile, like look at yourself in the mirror and just smile, even though you're not feeling it, it actually uplifts your mood.
Yeah. Write yourself some nice notes on your on little post-its, right?
Yes.
No, but it all this stuff. It's all a combination of wellness, right? Of just trying to deal with the situations that you have the best that you can, but doing things for yourself. Sometimes being selfish and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna take care of myself. You know what, I don't wish to engage in your stuff, so I'm gonna go get an IV and I'm gonna relax. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, why not? I mean, anything that is good for your body that's natural, why not?
Right.
Right? So, so we're gonna take a short break, Alexis. But I really love talking to you. I don't think we have this kind of discussion before, so I want to continue with a little further about what kind of areas you visit. How did all this stuff get started with you? Okay. So we'll be right back, everybody.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying this show. I'm here representing my business, LyvBliss. I am mobile. I come to your home and I provide wellness solutions for lots of different things. I'm so excited for you guys to listen to the second half. Stay tuned.
As you can see, my drip is going pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my arm just feels a little bit cold, but I'm not feeling anything, so that's a good sign. But I know that when we went on a break, I wanted to talk to you more about when somebody calls you for a service, like do they know what they want, or is it something that you recommend depending on how they feel? How does that work?
Yeah, it depends. I get both. A lot of times people will ask me, I want an IV, and they want recommendations. I like to talk to my clients and ask them what are their concerns, right? Because the IV therapy is very customizable. Like you had a recovery blend, which is good for muscle repair. But if somebody calls me and says that, they're having low energy or maybe they're having trouble sleeping, that would be a different IV blend. So I do recommend certain things. I like to have a conversation with them and ask them, okay, what are you feeling? How's your sleep? How's your energy? Are you working out a lot? That way I can get an overall picture of what the patient needs.
So what are the things? I mean, what kind of illnesses are you not able to, or what kind of people can you not provide this kind of treatment for? If you know.
Yeah. So if somebody comes and they have an underlying medical condition, say if they have heart disease or diabetes, I have to refer them out to their primary doctor. Things like renal disease, where they have issues with their kidneys, can become an issue if they have too much fluids, IV fluids. So they need to get clearance from their regular doctor to make sure that they are okay to get IV fluids or certain types of the vitamins. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make that clear because, sometimes certain things are not for everybody. So,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I shared, I have high blood pressure, but it's controlled. And mine, from what I understand, it's hereditary because my parents have it. And all of my siblings, we all have it.
Okay.
And we got it in our 40s.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So my parents are 79 years old and they have very healthy lives, although they've dealt with high blood pressure, but they're very healthy. They don't have any other illnesses at all whatsoever, no heart conditions, no nothing.
Good.
So that makes me happy because I know I'll be able to at least live till I'm 80, I hope.
Yeah.
I hope. But so when someone calls you, depending on the area, what's your safety measure for yourself when you go into someone's home?
Yeah, so a lot of my clients, one, I personally know them, or two, they are referral based. I have had some people message me that I didn't know at all. Some people found me on my Yelp. And so I just talk to them. I mean, for the most part, if it is a female client that I don't know, I feel pretty comfortable. If it's a male client, like, I want to make sure that I feel safe. I talk to them on the phone to make sure it's like a legit client. I also take a deposit to, some of my friends have told me to be very careful, which
Yes, I was just gonna say because I mean you always want to have another person with you. I mean, just this world it's just we live in an ugly world. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but it's the truth, and and you always want to take those safety measures with everything, right? Especially you going into strangers' homes and
I agree. I listen to my gut too. If something doesn't feel right or if it seems a little off, then I won't take them as a client. If I do, I haven't had this issue yet, thank God.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But my idea, if I do decide to take a client that I would like someone with me, I would take my dad. Be like, hey, because my dad, he is self-employed, so he has that flexibility to help me whenever I need to. Shout out to my dad, I love you. So if I I wouldn't put myself in that situation, but say if I needed that extra person, I would take someone with me for sure.
Yeah, and I would think that if it's a wife or or a husband and they're both home and I think that's you're pretty much you would be okay. But if it was just a male client and come to my whatever this and that, 'cause, especially now with social media, it's so weird. Everything is so off. You don't know who's who or what sometimes. So we have to be really careful with with all that stuff. So
I agree. I stay safe about it. Like I know who my followers are, and if I don't know them and their profile looks weird, I'll block them. Gotta go with my gut on some things. So
no, for sure, because we don't know. And they might, you might block them and then they might come back again and they're like under a different profile or whatever. 'Cause that's happened to me and it's pretty scary. It's pretty scary. And you as a young, young lady, I think I would be, concerned for you. But you are a strong person. You are, cautious of your surroundings and where you go. So that's a good thing. That's always a good thing. And so after, after someone does, the IV therapy, what's the follow up on that?
Yeah, so I'll usually follow up with my clients within 24 to 48 hours. That's typically how long it takes to feel the effects of the IV. I ask them how they're feeling, even with vitamin shots too, because I also offer vitamin shots. I'll just follow up, see how they're feeling. then they give me feedback. And it depends what the client is looking for. What I recommend is monthly maintenance. Some you can get them as often as weekly, and some clients are more on like a regular regimen to help with their health issues. So I follow up, and then I keep in touch. And sometimes my clients they become regulars, and they start messaging me when they want their services. So.
Yeah, and word of mouth. So, for example, today, I don't know who we were talking to, but Jared said, yeah, and I got, my shot and this and that. And he's all, and you know what? She called me back. The next day she texted me, or, I don't know, she called you or text him. And he was like, that's really good, because you want to,
Oh, yeah.
you want someone to follow up, not just like, okay. And then you're like, because I'm sure you take that under, high consideration.
Oh, definitely. I'm very big on building relationships with my clients, and I want to make sure the treatment went well with them, because sometimes, especially after their first treatment, they're like, well, even after a week of following up, I didn't really feel anything. Okay, well, now I know we can adjust, because not everything is going to be the right treatment option at the beginning, and when we adjust, I see sometimes better benefits for the client, and then we go from there. So yeah, it's definitely important. I always keep in touch. And yeah.
No, that's really good. So the dosage that you applied to the IV, is that depending on weight or someone's height?
Yeah.
Does that matter? Does that play a role? Or
That's a good question. So no. For the most part, no. What I've noticed, especially with certain types of minerals like magnesium can be sensitive for some people. And if they are more petite and lighter weight, I won't give them as such a high dose. All my dosages are based off of my doctor's orders, so they have standing protocols in place. So there's always like a max dose that you could give someone. And I base it off of their condition, what they're looking for, what type of IV they're getting. So weight can sometimes play a role in it, but for the most part, no. I can give pretty good doses as long as the client feels okay while they're getting the IV. Then we're good.
Oh, that's really good. Actually, when I ran the LA Marathon in 2019, I felt really good during my training. I knew I was overtraining, and I was kind of just ignoring it, and I was just being stubborn, but I knew I was overtraining. And then the day of the marathon, mile 23, I fell and broke my femur.
Wow.
I have fallen during my training, and nothing ever happened. I fell on my hands. I fell on the curb. I mean, because, things happen, especially when you're running in groups of people. And then the little rocks on the street, you fall. And it's normal for all of us to, end up our run with, blood on our legs and stuff or whatever. Yeah. And nothing ever happened. But I guess because towards the end, I was really pushing for a PR and, and I didn't know that a small little hairline fracture can turn into an actual fracture.
Oh, wow.
And that little pains in your body, I was ignoring them. It's going to go away. And I did have like a little needle pain somewhere in this area, but I ignored it. Yeah. And so, when I fell, I hit the ground, full speed.
Oh my God.
Or whatever. It was I was very shocked to know that I had fractured my femur. And so when I went to the doctor, they didn't find it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So for a whole month, they thought I had pulled a muscle on my quad. And I thought, oh, okay. So every day I would try to walk, but for some reason my leg wouldn't go anywhere. It didn't take a step. It was just dead. And I was in pain. I was in a lot of pain. So actually, every time I made an attempt to walk, I was actually hurting myself more. Anyway, to make a story short, it wasn't until they injected the blue dye, into my leg that I screamed like it was just as soon as the dye went in, oh my God. And they said, oh, emergency surgery now.
What?
Yeah, she has a fracture. And they were able to see it. And it was so like, oh my God, it was just terrible.
Wow.
But for a month, I was in pain and,
From the hairline fracture, you're in pain?
Yeah. Well, no, after my fall.
After.
Yeah, because I fell at mile 23. And
wow.
but I wanted to go further into it and know why that happened to me during my training. So as I come to find out, I was vitamin D deficient
Wow.
from overtraining. And so, of course, me, I have to take care of myself. I have to do this. So they put me on a high dose of vitamin D and then magnesium after that. And let me tell you, my recovery was great. My leg is strong, and now I'm very cautious about the things that I'm doing. I'm actually just really loving my body now, and just being easy on it, and not being so demanding that I have to do this and I have to do that, when it comes to exercise. And so vitamin D, my God, it plays a huge role.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes, vitamin D is really important for bone health, for our immune system. A lot of people are deficient. Even if you do train, you can become really deficient in a lot of different vitamins because, you're stressing your body and your body uses the vitamins up. So that makes sense.
And especially women, right? Because we have, your menstrual periods and all that stuff. So it really does. Vitamin D it's huge for a woman.
Yes. And vitamin D we actually can get from the sun. I always tell my clients, go outside, especially if you're feeling sick. The sun is very healing. But a lot of us do work indoors, right? During the sunlight hours. So it does make sense to supplement vitamin D. And to take it with something called K2. Vitamin K2 is actually going to help bring in that calcium into the bones along with vitamin D. So it's important to take both of them together. I offer that injectable, but you could always do over the counter too.
I do the under the tongue.
Under the tongue, okay.
1,000 milligrams.
Okay.
And it seems to help. Is the vitamin 12. B12.
The B12. Okay.
B12, yeah, 1,000 milligrams, I think it is.
Yeah.
And it actually helps me. It actually helps a little bit with my stress and I don't know, maybe my energy too. But but all these things that we're talking about, I mean, who would have thought that, that sometimes we don't even think about, especially when we're young, right?
Right.
We just do whatever we need to do and we just go on. But it comes a point in our lives when you really have to take a look, do inventory of your body and know, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, because it's so easy, especially now when all these plastic surgeries, recovery after that. I mean, I've seen some horrible stuff, where, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get this done or get this done. The effects of that afterwards in recovery, if your body is weak, if your body is not, malnutrition, it plays a huge role in your recovery, right?
Yes. It's really important to take care of yourself, especially before a big surgery. You want to make sure your lungs are good, increase some cardio, because when you go under for surgery, the anesthesia that they use actually affects your lungs. So you want to be able to breathe really deeply. And even if you are overweight, losing a little bit of weight before a surgery is really important too, because fat cells are inflammatory and they affect recovery time. So there's all these factors that play a role in recovery. And having proper nutrition too is really important.
And the scars, the healing of the scars. I mean, I know people that have keloid.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a disease or I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but it just like sometimes it gets infected and it gets really thick and dark, and I don't know what that has to do with anything, but we really have to, before we do things like that, we have to really check ourselves really good, go to the doctor and really check, because the surgeons can only do so much, right? But your doctor, make sure they're clearing you, make sure you're safe, and and that you're doing all the things that as women, as men, before we put ourselves through all that trauma, because it is trauma to your body.
Oh, definitely.
And you want your body to recover healthy and have a good outcome.
Right. I agree. Something I recommend pre-surgery, of course, do a little bit of exercise a week before, doing something like an IV with a high dose of vitamin C to help with collagen, zinc, a high dose of zinc to help with your immune system, because zinc actually helps strengthen your white blood cells, and white blood cells is what fights infection. So if you have really strong white blood cells going into your surgery, you are at a lower risk for infection. And doing a vitamin D injection to help with your immune system is going to help before, so that after your recovery is a lot quicker.
Yeah, so remember, ladies or men who are planning to do some kind of enhancement surgery, make sure you guys are, not just talking to your doctor, but also, following Alexus' advice, because I'm telling you, what she's saying is, it's so on the correct, because I know I've experienced it, I've done it, and now, believe it or not, my bone density test was of a 32-year-old.
Congrats.
Yeah, it was all in the green.
Good.
Yeah, and I was scared because I was like, oh my gosh, but no, I mean, and then today I'm doing this, and I think I'm gonna make this my norm, seriously, because it's for my health.
Definitely.
And so you have two future clients here.
Oh, awesome.
Oh yeah, Jared's already a client. No, but this is all really great information. I mean, I'm just giving out, information from my own personal experience and some of the horror stories that I've seen on other people. But you're a professional. You're a certified, RN nurse. Well, that's what it is, right? A registered nurse. Yeah. So how do people find you? How do they go about looking you up? And so.
Yes. I have an Instagram page. It's called LyvBliss. Liv is spelled Lyv, and then bliss as in happy. That's my Instagram. You can follow me there. That's where I post most of my content, and you can book through there too. I have a personal Instagram. It's Alexus McKeon. My name is spelled Alexus. My last name Mckean. And you can follow me there too. I post nursing content on there too. So that's a great way to connect with me. I also have a Facebook page. The same thing, LyvBliss, but most of my things would be on Instagram.
Yeah, so if somebody wants to see, your credentials of any kind, is that something that you also provide, just to make sure, because some people might say, is that something you would be able to provide? Okay,
definitely.
Awesome. So is there anything else you want to touch on? I mean, last minute things, last minute words.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me, and I'm so excited to see how your results are with this IV. I'm excited to help the community with what I do. I absolutely love what I do, being a holistic nurse, providing IV therapy in your home. It's helped so many clients, and it's a natural wellness solution to a lot of different issues. So if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. I am very active on my social media, and I love responding and just talking with others about their health goals, and how we can get them feeling better. I do have a lot of resources as well, not just IV therapy, but I am connected with a lot of different therapists in the community, different types of holistic, natural treatment options that I love referring out to, because if there's something that I can't do, I know there's somebody else that can help. So we're just here creating a community together, and I'm all about community. So yes, reach out. Be my friend, connect with me, and I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, and one thing that she did miss on her delivery is that she is a member of the Greater West Covina Business Association, and we're very proud to have her, as a member. So, and like I said, the reason why we're doing this is so that you guys know it is a real thing. I don't know if you guys were able to see, but we're almost done with the IV, and I will be sharing tomorrow, how I'm feeling. I'll post a video. But I've done this before, and it's had great results. So, I really want to welcome you to our community of members, and I know you're going to do great things, because we're going to get you involved in a lot of things that we're going to be doing to help the youth, to enhance your business. So with that, thank you and welcome, and again, I look forward to getting to know you more, and so if you guys have any questions, she said make sure you guys look her up. She's an awesome person. She has a great personality, so I can't say enough about her, and so we're gonna say good evening. Today's show was actually on Valentine's Day, everybody. So happy Valentine's Day. I hope you guys are having a great evening with your spouses. Too bad it's only 9 o'clock in the morning because we did change our time. So, so maybe after, while you guys are eating your dessert, you guys could watch our show. And then call Alexus for therapy. So good night. Thank you so much for watching us, for supporting us. Let's Connect Now. It's here as a platform for you to come and share your knowledge about your business, get other people inspired, and really just enjoy talking about your business. So good night, everybody, or good morning.
Good morning, and happy Valentine's Day.